Dear friends, if you have to wake up 2 or 3 times every night because of the urge to urinate, then you've surely experienced that feeling. Shallow sleep, waking up exhausted, mind foggy, stepping out of bed, still feeling like you're in a mist. The whole day you just want to doze off, lacking the energy to do anything. People often say, that's just how aging is. But really, is it true? Why is it that some people at 70 still sleep soundly through the night, while others, just past 50, are already tossing and turning all night because of frequent urination? Have you ever wondered if there's a vegetable around your garden, something you walk by every day but don't notice, that might actually help reduce nighttime urination without relying on medication? And why are some vegetables we forget about silently helping the kidneys function better each night? Today's video will answer those questions. I'll share with you a list of 5 very easy-to-find vegetables that are recommended by urologists because they don't just cool the liver and promote urination, but also support deeper and more continuous sleep. Please watch the video carefully to the end, because vegetables number 4 and 5, though simple, are the keys for those who want to sleep well without waking up in the middle of the night due to urination. Before we get into the main content, let me first wish you always healthy and peaceful each day. And if you find this introduction easy to understand and heartwarming, don't hesitate to leave a comment with number 1 so I know you resonate. But if you think it's not great yet, I truly hope to receive a comment with number 0 so I can improve in future videos. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Every video here is prepared with the hope of bringing peace, both physically and mentally, to each of you watching. Let's get started now, dear friends. Dear friends, nocturia is a condition where you have to wake up at least 1 to 2 times each night to urinate. For many elderly people, this seems to have become a routine matter, even considered normal. But in fact, behind each time we wake up in the night lies a series of warning signals from inside the body that sometimes we don't recognize. When the kidneys start to weaken, their filtering and water retention functions are no longer effective. The prostate gland in men may also enlarge with age, pressing against the bladder. And when the body experiences electrolyte imbalance due to unhealthy diet or medication, nighttime urination becomes more frequent. It's not just an inconvenience. Nocturia is a silent thief of precious sleep every night. Sleep becomes fragmented. The mind doesn't get full rest. Over time, it leads to fatigue, unstable blood pressure, and cardiovascular issues. For older adults, waking up frequently during the night also increases the risk of stroke and falls due to imbalance. Sleep researchers have shown that just 1 night of less than 6 hours of sleep reduces the detoxifying ability of the liver, kidneys, and skin by up to 40%. When toxins accumulate, the immune system weakens, leading to many other chronic diseases. Nocturia doesn't just make you tired. It silently accelerates aging, weakens immunity, and makes every morning feel heavier than ever. So if you're experiencing this condition, don't take it lightly. It's time to take care of your kidneys, sleep correctly, and most importantly, seek out natural, gentle solutions to restore deep sleep from within. A good night's sleep not only helps you live healthier, but also longer and happier. Dear friends, a few months ago, I visited an aunt on my mother's side, nearly 70 years old, living alone in a rural area. She used to be very healthy, but that day, she looked thinner, her eyes sunken, her voice faint. I asked, and she just smiled and said, "Probably due to lack of sleep. Every night I get up 2-3 times to urinate, can't sleep through, wake up feeling weak and drained." Her story reminded me of many other elders facing the same issue, but considering it a normal part of aging. In reality, nocturia is not simply a sign of aging, but a warning from within: kidney decline, weak bladder, or hormonal imbalance. When sleep isn't deep, the body doesn't have enough time to recover. Over time, this leads to fatigue, memory decline, high blood pressure risk, and cardiovascular disruption. For elderly people, waking up in the night also increases risks of falls and even silent strokes. Studies show Just one night of sleep under 6 hours reduces the detoxification ability of the liver and kidneys by up to 40%. Toxin buildup over time becomes the root of many health problems later on. I share this story not to make you worried, but to remind you, nocturia is not something you have to endure just because of age. It's a condition that can be improved. As long as we understand it right, care for our diet and sleep, our health will gradually return, gently and sustainably. Dear friends, once we understand that nocturia is not just about aging, but a sign that the kidneys, bladder, and excretory system are calling for help, choosing the right foods to nourish, balance, and support sleep is incredibly important. And now, I'd like to share with you 5 vegetables that are easy to find and beneficial for sleep, especially for older adults who urinate at night and have trouble sleeping deeply. First is sweet leaf, roundngot. Cools the liver, promotes urination, reduces body heat. Dear friends, sweet leaf is a familiar rustic vegetable. Almost every rural household has a few bushes in the backyard. Many people grow it, but don't pay much attention, thinking it's just a common soup ingredient. But in fact, sweet leaf is one of the best foods for those who urinate at night, have liver heat, or frequently experience shallow sleep. Modern medicine shows that sweet leaf is rich in vitamin C, a vitamin that helps fight oxidation, boosts immunity, and especially helps soothe inflammation in the urinary tract. When blood circulation improves, the kidneys function better. The filtering and water retention process becomes regular, which helps reduce waking up multiple times at night due to urination. Additionally, sweet leaf contains polyphenols and alkaloids, active compounds that help purify the blood, cool the liver, and reduce internal heat. Those with liver heat, skin rashes, prickly heat, or frequent daytime urination without clear reason, just by eating sweet leaf regularly for a few weeks, will feel more at ease and their skin less irritated. I once saw my neighbor, Uncle Hi, over 60 years old, who used to get up twice every night to urinate. After eating sweet leaf soup with ginger 3 times a week for over half a month, he said, "I sleep straight through the night now. Wake up feeling light, not groggy like before." However, not everyone should use sweet leaf frequently. Pregnant women, especially in the first trimester, should be cautious because sweet leaf has a cooling nature and contains papaverine, an active compound that can negatively affect the uterus. People with diarrhea, cold stomachs, or weak digestion should also cook it thoroughly and eat in moderation. Avoid drinking it raw if your constitution is weak. The way to use sweet leaf is very simple. You can cook it in soup with lean meat or simmer bones for broth, both nutritious and cooling. Those used to raw sweet leaf can blend it with a few slices of fresh ginger. It cools the liver and reduces internal heat, but remember not to overdo it. 2 to 3 times per week is enough. You see, sometimes good health doesn't come from expensive supplements or fancy foods, but from a bowl of mom's soup, a cup of gentle herbal water each morning. As long as we care again for these simple things in our meals, restful sleep and a healthy spirit will return naturally. 2. Malabar spinach, rau mong toi. Increases mucilage in the intestines, supports salt elimination. Dear friends, if you ask which soup is both cooling, easy to eat, and friendly to the elderly, I believe many will immediately think of Malabar spinach. This is not only a familiar rural dish, but also an excellent vegetable for those with nocturia, high blood pressure, or those who feel drained from internal heat. Malabar spinach contains natural mucilage, which soothes the intestines and bladder, reducing the constant urge to urinate at night. Also, its high potassium content helps regulate blood pressure and supports the kidneys in eliminating excess salt, a common reason some people urinate at night, even without drinking much water. For older people, especially those who eat salty foods, feel overheated, struggle to sleep, or suffer from constipation, Malabar spinach is an ideal daily dish. I know an elder who just by eating Malabar spinach soup twice a week felt cooler, more regular in digestion, and had more continuous sleep. However, I'd like you to be mindful. Those with diarrhea or oxalate kidney stones should consume Malabar spinach in moderation and cook it thoroughly, as its cooling and laxative nature may weaken digestion if eaten raw or excessively. Honestly, sometimes just a bowl of Malabar spinach soup with warm rice, dipped in ginger fish sauce, is enough to calm the body after a long, tiring day. I always believe, living healthily doesn't need to be complicated. Just listen to your body and choose the simple yet precious gifts from nature. Malabar spinach is one of those humble treasures. 3. Plantain leaf, lamande, a precious herb for diuresis, reducing urinary inflammation. Dear friends, some plants grow wild by the roadside, clinging to the edges of rice fields, seemingly useless, yet they're precious herbs silently protecting our health each day. Plantain leaf is one of those. From our grandparents' time, plantain leaves have been used in folk medicine to reduce inflammation, cool the liver, and promote urination. In Eastern medicine, plantain is known for clearing heat, relieving dysuria, detoxifying. Just 3 simple words, but if understood well, show how plantain helps cleanse the body from within, especially the urinary tract, which is prone to inflammation and causes nocturia in the elderly. Modern medicine shows that plantain contains aucubin, a compound with anti-inflammatory, diuretic, and mild antibacterial properties. That's why plantain is very suitable for those with frequent urination, burning urination, or waking up many times at night to urinate due to bladder irritation or weak kidneys. Once, a rural aunt told me, "I used to get up 3 times a night to urinate, couldn't sleep, my mind always tight like a stretched string." Then someone told me to boil plantain leaves and drink instead of water. After 4 days, I felt a difference. Not everyone may see fast results like that, but with regular use, plantain helps the body excrete better, sleep deeper, and feel more refreshed. However, dear friends, be cautious. Plantain is cooling, so those with low blood pressure, cold stomach, diarrhea, or are underweight should not consume too much. Overuse or continuous long-term consumption may lower blood pressure or disturb electrolyte absorption, causing fatigue or dizziness. Older adults with nocturia, liver heat, constipation, or a feeling of water retention and bloating can absolutely use plantain as a natural supportive therapy. Just grab a small handful of fresh leaves, boil with 1 liter of water, let it cool, and drink throughout the day. Remember not to leave it overnight or replace all water with it. 3 to 4 days per week is enough. Plantain tea not only helps the kidneys, but also acts like a cool stream washing away fatigue from the body. There are simple gifts from nature that, when understood and used correctly, become precious remedies that no pharmaceutical drug can replace. 4. Fish mint, Raudiep ka. Urinary tract antibacterial, silently prevents inflammation. Dear friends, fish mint. Just hearing the name already sounds cooling. Some people love it, others hesitate because of its distinct fishy smell. But if you've ever used it and felt its true benefits, you'll surely realize there's no other vegetable quite as humble yet effective in protecting the urinary tract and supporting restful sleep. I remember once visiting an old acquaintance in the Mekong Delta. She told me that months before, she had frequent urination, painful urination, to the point where she had to wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes twice a night, and still felt not done. She went to the doctor, who diagnosed mild urinary tract inflammation. But instead of prolonged Western medication, she turned to a handful of fish mint growing behind her house, washed it clean, blended with warm water, added a little honey, and drank it every day. At first, she said it was hard to drink, but after just a few days, her body felt lighter, she could urinate comfortably, and no longer tossed and turned at night from needing to go. According to medical research, fish mint contains decanonyl acetaldehyde, a natural compound with anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and soothing properties for bladder irritation. It's especially helpful for those with chronic inflammation, frequent nighttime urination, particularly middle-aged women, or those with weak immunity. For older adults, fish mint also helps purify the liver, aid digestion, and cool internal heat. Those who often get pimples from liver heat, feel irritable, or urinate frequently without clear cause. Just need to eat it raw a few times a week, or juice it to feel much lighter. However, since fish mint is cooling and slightly cold-natured, people with cold stomachs, diarrhea, or women on their menstrual cycle should avoid drinking it raw. Instead, cook it, or reduce intake depending on the body's condition. Those with low blood pressure should also be cautious and not use it too often. Fish mint doesn't need fancy preparation. Just wash it, eat it raw with herbs, or blend it with water. Add a bit of honey to make it easier to drink. Using it 3 to 4 times per week is enough to support the body. Don't drink it raw every single day. Sometimes, the very things with a challenging taste are what help the body balance and recover in the most sustainable way. Fish mint is that kind of vegetable, humble, unfussy, but when used correctly, it helps you sleep deeper. Urinate less at night and wake up with a much lighter heart. 5. Broccoli, bong kai san, rich in sulforaphane, helps reduce bladder inflammation. Dear friends, broccoli is a vibrant green, firm-looking vegetable that may seem simple, but contains a wealth of nutrients, especially for those dealing with bladder issues, weak kidneys, or chronic nighttime urination. In Western countries, broccoli is almost a daily recommended vegetable, as it contains a compound called sulforaphane, a powerful antioxidant known to soothe internal inflammation, particularly in the urinary tract and bladder. I once spoke with a gentleman in Saigon, over 65 years old, still working part-time. He shared that he used to wake up at midnight because of the urge to urinate. His sleep was fragmented, and every morning felt like he hadn't slept at all. The doctor advised a dietary adjustment, including steamed broccoli daily. He followed the suggestion, eating it 3 to 4 times a week, just a small handful each meal. And after about a month, his sleep became deeper, nighttime awakenings less frequent, and his energy noticeably improved. In fact, besides sulforaphane, broccoli also contains magnesium and vitamin K, 2 nutrients that help regulate blood pressure and support stable kidney function. When the excretory system works smoothly, the bladder reduces abnormal contractions, which in turn lessens the need to urinate at night. For seniors with chronic conditions like diabetes or hypertension, adding broccoli to the diet also helps lower the risk of kidney complications. However, broccoli is high in fiber and produces mild heat during digestion, so those with weak stomachs or prone to bloating should use it moderately. Steaming is the best method to retain nutrients and aid digestion. For variety, you can stir-fry it quickly with a bit of olive oil, lightly seasoned for both flavor and health. What's great is that broccoli isn't expensive or rare, yet it strengthens the kidneys, soothes the bladder, and helps you sleep without interruptions from nightly urges. Sometimes, a simple vegetable, used right, can be the key to entering a healthier, more peaceful old age. Dear friends, no matter how beneficial vegetables may be, if our lifestyle isn't adjusted, the effects will only go so far. I once knew an elder who was very careful with diet, chose clean vegetables, avoided salt, cooked everything just right, but still had nocturia and suffered from poor sleep. Later it was discovered, every night before bed, he drank a full glass of water, often ate late-night fruits, and even sipped some coffee to stay awake longer. Many of us have a habit of thinking, drink more water to cool down the body, not realizing that after 7 p.m., the kidneys begin to slow down. At that point, if we continue to add water, eat salty or spicy foods, or consume tea, coffee, or alcohol, we're unknowingly pushing the kidneys to work overtime. And the more they work at night, the faster they wear out with age. Instead of drinking a lot in the evening, we should practice emptying the bladder before bed. If possible, soak your feet in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes. You can add a few drops of ginger or use coarse salt to enhance relaxation. These small habits can help ease the body, improve circulation, and invite more natural sleep. A few minutes of light meditation before bed, or simply closing your eyes, taking 10 slow, deep breaths, can help relax the nervous system and release the mind from worries. You see, taking care of sleep and kidney health doesn't require anything elaborate. Just eat the right vegetables, drink the right amount of water, sleep on time, and release your thoughts before lying down. And you've already given your body a chance to recover. In a life full of worries, a full night's sleep, without waking up in the middle of the night due to urination, is the most natural remedy to help us live healthier, happier, and longer each day. Dear friends, old age is not the end of good health. As long as we understand our body and choose the right foods, a full night's sleep and refreshed spirit each morning are entirely within reach. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe, so each day we'll have one more piece of safe, natural health knowledge to carry us forward.